The Clifford Beers Clinic, a nonprofit community-based mental health agency, provides help and hope to children coping with issues such as sexual abuse, violence, and traumatic loss. Joining me now is Executive Director Dr. Alice Forster and Erin Cushing, Manager of Intensive Outpatient Programs. Welcome to the both of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. We're so grateful.
You're so welcome. The Jerry Sandusky case has put child sexual abuse back in the headlines. What are you doing to reach out to kids who are dealing with this right now?
Well, it's very common for us, unfortunately, to hear stories of kids who have experienced sexual abuse. About 20% of our children who come, we see about 1,600 kids a year. And they're, what happened in the Sandusky story is often what we hear, is that children have experienced abuse at the hands of a mentor or someone that they love. And they're really frightened to tell. Either they're afraid to tell or they don't want to get the person in trouble, or they don't want the person's family to be in trouble or their own family. And so we often have children who are bearing this burden all by themselves and not telling.
So Erin, how do you encourage these kids to speak up?
Well, disclosure is, like Alice said, very difficult for these children and families to do, but really we provide a lot of programming and a lot of nurturance and support for them and their families, and I think through that relationship building and the safety of the clinic, a lot of families and children do disclose the abuse so that they can get the help they need.
So through a therapeutic encounter, perhaps, you're able to get them to really open up.
Erin runs an after-school program 3 hours a day, 5 days a week for teenagers 12 to 18, where they can really join a group and be with other kids who had similar experiences. Another thing is, I don't know if you know, it takes about 3 years once the kid tells to actually go to court. Can you imagine the length of time to wait and to sort of be on pins and needles whether or not, their court date and having to face their perpetrators? So there's a lot of holding that has to happen for our children.
And you mentioned that oftentimes these kids know who the abuser is.
Oh, absolutely.
Correct. A lot of times it's family members or friends or mentors, families that are, they trust others, and so it's even more harmful and hurtful to disclose that abuse.
Right. And the kids know that their life is going to be different once they tell, and sometimes they are afraid about that and choose not to.
But you have programs there to help these kids.
We do. We have a lot of different programs. We have a trauma center. We have a lot of children who have experienced domestic violence, sexual abuse, community violence. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of children who live in communities where shootings have occurred. We're also trying to help the community sort of deal with that and counsel other nonprofits in the community to help them manage their children. We have programs for kids who have been affected by HIV and AIDS. We have a substance abuse prevention program that we run. We're, constantly working with trying to help the kids who you don't really see often.
You talk about, you touched upon it, nationally recognized child trauma agency, really.
Yes, we are. We also have an emergency mobile crisis unit that'll go out really basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and they'll go into the community. Wherever the child is, they'll be there in about 40 minutes. And people can access that by calling 211 if they're worried about their child.
Let's talk more about the outpatient programs, Erin. What else do you provide?
A whole variety of opportunities. There's outpatient treatment, as most people commonly think about it, outpatient individual and family therapy. There's a variety of group programming, single groups that run once a week, groups that run 3 to 5 times a week. There's a variety of in-home services. There's a variety of support and wraparound services, as we call them, with case managers that support families with additional work that they need.
You really do treat the entire family.
Yes.
Absolutely. We just started a new program for families 0 to 5-year-olds. So the mother could be just a newborn or a little bit older, and working in their home, a therapist and a clinician go there for families that might be at high risk if perhaps the mom lost their first child through the state, working on ways for them to be able to hold on to their child, the new child. So.
And you have more than one location.
Yeah.
Yes, several locations.
We're in West Haven. We have an office in West Haven. We have an office in Guilford. We're in a couple of schools in New Haven.
And Woodbridge as well?
We have an office in Woodbridge. Yes, we do. And very much supported by the town of New Haven. And we're, really everybody thinks, oh, insurance pays for that or the, state funds pay for that. Well, that's not true. Actually, we really have to raise about 50% of our budget every year through philanthropy.
Well, I understand that because as a medical reporter, mental health is not covered very well.
No. I mean, hopefully it's going to change. with the new healthcare reform. But frankly, you know, our services are barely paid for. We're paid probably half as much as other services are.
And you do have a holiday appeal campaign going on right now?
Absolutely. End of the year, it's a wonderful opportunity for volunteers and people in the community to support our work. You can write to the clinic and send your donation there, or you can go online. We have a website, www.cliffordbeers.org. I'm sure it's on.
Absolutely. And we also have more information on the screen right there for Clifford Beers.
Right.
There's a phone number, 203-777.
772, I'm sorry.
772. There it is, 772 1270. And we also want to say a special thank you to the Community Foundation for Greater New Haven for supporting nonprofit organizations like the Clifford Beers Clinic. And I know the families out there have relied upon you, your agency, for so much help. And I just want to thank you on their behalf.
Thank you very, very much.
Have a happy holiday.
Thank you, you too.
Happy holiday.